go. Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on Neeves Knives. I got the iPad set up real close to my face right now so I can hopefully read everything a lot better this time. Man, last week, I was pretty cranky. I could not see nothing, and it was irritating me. I didn't even realize why I was so angry till towards the end. And yeah, it was like I felt blind the whole time, and not good at all. So now I can see everything nice and close. So shout out to everybody, and oh yeah, thank you. Whoa. Thank you for the donation. And Carco, welcome to the Benchmaids. Shout out to the Banging Squad, Dukes of Hazard. Thank you for the 5 bones. I appreciate it, man. How's everybody doing tonight? I have a few things written down that I want to talk about. Not a lot, but we'll get into a couple things. Like one of the things I wanted to talk about, a bunch of people were asking me over the past couple weeks about 15V. And I'm like, what are they talking about? But then I learned, Triple B, had a hand in, I guess, creating 15V, and they got a Spyderco Mannix coming in 15V. That sounds amazing. I can't wait to get one. I'm 100% going to get one. He showed one that he sharpened on, I think he did it on Instagram because he tagged me, and he did one on YouTube, and he took a paper towel after sharpening it and cut an S shape in the paper towel. Now I can do that. And after that, I actually, I felt it was like a challenge. So after that, I wound up sharpening a knife and doing the same thing. But looking at it, it's like, damn, that's a good edge to cut swirls in a resting paper towel. Like if you take a paper towel roll and just set it on something, cut it, and then go like that. That's sharp. That is damn sharp. And yeah, so I wound up having to create my own edge and do the same thing. And also I did, what's up, Bama? I mostly got it done. I'm not 100% finished with it yet, but I've done the cut sleeve video with the cut proof sleeve. So that video is coming very soon. We have a lot of great content coming up over the next couple weeks. Some things I'm working a little bit extra hard on, kind of. I think over some time, with some of the videos that I want to produce, that I want to do, that I do have to put a little bit more effort into. I don't think they're going to be as good as I imagine. However, I think over a few weeks of getting myself into a process of where I can, set up a system and how I want to do these specific types of videos, I think I'll get better at it. I know I will. But Jeremiah, thank you for the 2 bones. Yo, what's up? I won the Arcane Designs crawler raffle. Nice, man. Good for you. Hell yeah. That's badass. Oh, shout out to the patrons. If you're a Patreon, go watch the giveaway entry video. It's posted. It's up. You guys got 6 giveaways. A Reat exoskeleton, a Spyderco Canis, Best Tech Shodan. What else you guys got? A drop bear, and a couple other things. Badass items. I got my exoskeleton right here. You guys is in the box. If you're a patron, you know what box I'm talking about. So, but yeah, if you're a patron member, make sure you go watch that video and enter into the giveaway. And anybody else who's not a patron, think about signing up. Think about it. Yeah, Bama jumped on it. You kind of, I don't mean to be mean to anybody who's not a patron, but you're kind of dumb if you're not a patron at this point. If you're not a patron, because to me, it's like, it's a win-win. Because even if you're a patron for like, say, a year, then you win something, like you pretty much get all your money back in one giveaway when you eventually win. Some people have won, multiple times. So, it's just a number, right? When your number's up, I know there's always going to be the people that are just unlucky. It's like, man, I never fucking win. That's how I always was. It took me 2 years to win anything. And then I wound up winning like 2 things in a row. After watching people win like multiple times in a row, it's like, how the hell does this guy always win? And I can't win nothing. But, you know, the more things you enter, the better chances you get, you know, so it is a numbers game. Where's my baby sister? She's outside fucking around with possums. That's I swear to God, that's where she's at right now. She's outside. She's got this camera and she's literally lured in these damn animals now to where now they're expecting dinner earlier and earlier. Like they used to come in the middle of the night. They're starting to come at like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, like looking for food because she's out there feeding them. So yeah, she's out there setting up her trail cams and stuff. Sorry guys, let me turn this off. Richard with the 5 pounds. Thank you, brother. What does it say? Amen. I am way up on you. Thank you, man. Spanky. Holy cow. Spanky came in with the 10 balls. Holy shit. Thank you, man. If you're not a patron of Jared on Patreon, what are you even doing with your life? Seriously, what are you doing? We normally don't give away 6 giveaways every month, but we almost always do at least 3. Oh, I don't know if we've ever not done at least 3, but it was originally only supposed to be 1. That's what it was supposed to be, 1 giveaway a month. I don't know how the hell it went to 3, and we never stopped doing 3 after that. And they're always good shit. It's always like brand new stuff. Like right now, all the knives for the 6, they're all brand spanking new. The one knife I used as a first impressions, and then one other knife has an aftermarket clip, but it's a brand new knife though. All the rest of them are just brand new in the box. The Reat I used in a video, but all I've done is open and closed it. Maybe I'll get a chance to win a giveaway soon. Yeah, there you go. You just gotta be signed up. K390 isn't stainless, but it's an amazing steel. Yes, I love K390. It's one of my favorite steels. It holds such a good edge. And what I really love about it is its ability to take an edge. So all steels can take an edge, right? All steels can take an edge. But when you are doing a lot of sharpening and you really get into sharpening, you actually love sharpening and you have the ability to put really, whether you have a sharpening system or however you do it, when you have the ability to put a really good edge and you know you're confident in putting a good edge on a steel, K390 is a steel that you can like get to ridiculous levels of sharpness. And that's what I love about it. Like just even like with a mirror polished edge, you get that bite that's just like, it's so scary sharp. So yeah, I absolutely love K390. Gotta eat some steaks, brother. All right. Take it easy, man. Get a hold of me later. Be safe. Yes, please hit the like button. I would do appreciate if you guys hit the like button. It helps me out in the algorithm. Thank you, Dennis. Let me pull it up. What the heck? This one's a little bit late, so there we go. Mark says, I will say I found a stupid way to use my stone to sharpen. It's section by section, like a work sharp, but by hand. Not ideal, but it kind of works. Well, with like kitchen knives, in many cases you want to do it section. Like you want to do half and then just kind of go back and forth and then blend. So it is a mixture of doing sections and then all at once. When you do the all at once, hopefully I'm making sense right now, where like when you're I wish I had a big chef knife right here right now, but when you're sharpening, you do like towards the heel of it first, then you switch and start doing the top portion, and then you blend it, and you want to blend it to kind of marry the edges together into one single edge. Even like sword sharpening, there's this guy on TikTok. I recently started a TikTok, by the way, guys. I'm gonna start posting stuff on there. This guy on TikTok, he sharpens or makes swords, and he's on there sharpening swords. And when you're watching him sharpening swords, you can see he's doing it section by section by section. That's how you have to do it. But yeah, I mean, whatever technique works for you, you know, there's lots of different ways. Got my first send cut for the first time and loving it. I got the send cut Sakshi, black blade, and brown micarta. Nice. Yeah, that's a good one. Another good one that's about to come out. I don't think it's out yet, but the what's it called? The Wadaga or Wada, I don't know, something Wadawa or Wadaga or some shit. This send cut with the Warncliffe, this one's a pretty good one. I think, you know, obviously the more they do button locks, I think the better they're getting, and they've definitely got it down pat. Their detents, the button, even like the first one I got from them, button lock wise, wound up getting blade rock like fast as hell, and I had to adjust it and fix it, and then it came back, and it has a lot to do with their lock face geometry. But it seems that that's less likely. The more they're producing them, the better. It seems like they're getting better, I guess I'm trying to say. Yeah, I've heard K390 is one of the best for edge retention. I've put a 17-degree angle on my Kizer Deviant, and it holds an edge for about 6 months, being stropped every day. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it depends on what you're doing with it and what you're cutting, what you're doing, how hard you are, the geometry of the blade. There's a lot of factors, but yeah, K390 holds an edge for a very long time, especially if you're not beating on it, right? Obviously, any steel, if you beat on it, it's going to, like, if you try to cut a damn if you're cutting copper wires all day, doesn't matter what steel you're using, they're all going to go dull, right? But if you're cutting regular stuff, ropes, straps, plastic, cardboard, things like that, yeah, the K390 will last a long time, especially with upkeep like stropping. Let me find it. Colton says, have you ever seen a Willys pickup? Just saw a red one today. It had an overdrive and the owner added a radio and headliner. The hand crank windows are operated reversed from normal. I don't think I've seen one of those, but I have been in vehicles where the thing is in reverse, and I remember it felt very weird. I've been in a lot of older cars. I grew up, a lot of my family members had like old cars, old hot rods and shit like that. So I grew up, you know, in a lot of older, I've had some myself, a few older cars, and trucks. John with the 2 bones. Hey, Jared, is there other tool steels than K390? Yeah, there's a lot of tool steels. D2's a tool steel. There's a lot of tool steels. You can just look up tool steels and you'll get a list of them. Just joined up on Patreon. Shout out to Michael, our new Patreon member. Hell yeah. Does my knife cut better if I'm horny? I mean, probably. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. You know, you'd at least be a lot more passionate about the cutting. I use it heavy for cutting opening cardboard boxes and removing tops. Probably cut 30 to 50 boxes every day. That's where I'm at, man. I cut so much damn cardboard. Like sometimes I feel like I'm drowning. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. I start getting stressed from cardboard because I get so much stuff in. And, you know, and we order a lot of stuff, right? Because we Uber. So it's easier for us to order things and get delivered than to leave and go shopping. So we have so many damn boxes. I have so much cardboard that sometimes I have a mountain, and sometimes it's fucking ridiculous. And like if I miss recycling day, it's bad. And I cut things up. I take some boxes and I cut up the other cardboard to fit in those boxes, all chopped down, fill up the entire garbage can. And then I still, because you're allowed to have an item like a box, as long as it's recyclable too, filled right next to your recycling bin. So we have a full garbage can filled. And then I take another box as big as I can get, and I cut up all the cardboard I can, fit it in that, and I set it next to the garbage can every week. So lots of cardboard. Sometimes it's almost embarrassing how much fucking cardboard I have. Like, it's like, don't let anybody in the house. I don't want anybody. They won't understand. So damn much. Yeah, Kara's out there being Pocahontas. Let me catch up. Perfect reason to be a knife guy. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? At first, I thought it was kind of like, hey, man, this kind of works out. But sometimes, man, you just don't, like, it's not like I want to sit there and cut up cardboard 3 hours a day, So, like, I won't do it for a few days, won't cut anything up, and I'll just kind of stack them. And next thing I know, it's just overwhelming, and it's like, damn it. There's times like I gotta literally take for a couple hours, like literally a few hours a week, and just spend just cutting fucking cardboard. Dukes, thank you for the 5 bones. Got a Mannix 2 coming in the mail with the help of your review and some liquid courage. Hell yeah, good for you, man. That's a Mannix is a great knife to have. I absolutely love the Mannix. One of my most recommended knives. Talica, thank you for the 2 bones. Just cracked. Wait, I just cracked fresh edges on granite. There you go. With the Mannix, though, man, I'm definitely going to be getting a new Mannix in that 15V. I can't wait till that shit comes out. That is just, it sounds amazing. I've sat there and listened to Triple B and read some of the things he's written, and I just because he co-signed it, I'm excited. What's it say? Oh, Maurice is in the house. Maurice, what's up, man? What are you doing? What's wrong with your name? Your name is your name. That ain't right. Feels kind of weird. Andrew says, I have a shop here in Arizona where we service restaurants for knives and supplies, and I offer whetstone sharpening to the serious chef in the valley. That's awesome. Hell yeah. That's really cool. I always wonder. Nah, I guess I don't really wonder, but with a lot of different chefs, I'm always curious, like, what do they do? Like, do they send their knives out? Do they sharpen them themselves? I would imagine a lot of chefs like the pride in sharpening their own knives, but I have to imagine not all of them are that good at it. It's just because you're a great chef doesn't mean you're also a great sharpener, right? Obviously, there's going to be some that are really good, but it depends on how much effort you put into it. And me personally, if I was a chef, I would put so much effort into that, because to me, that's my moneymaker, right? If that's my moneymaker, then I think it should be the best it could be. Like that, I just think like there'd be a relationship there, like with how well your edges depends on how good you're cooking and cutting your food. Tri-State's in here. Shout out to Tri-State. Definitely go and give him a follow. What's up, bud? I need to get my hand on that Mannix 2 sprint run. Facts. I just saw 3V Cold Steel. Where is that? I just saw a 3V Cold Steel, and I didn't even know what it was. I thought it was a typo till Google swooped in. Oh yeah. Quentin says, Jared, you're welcome for you're welcome for introducing you to that. Thank you. I appreciate it, man, because you're like, I was just saying that too, is that people were telling me or asking me about it. And I was like, what? But yeah, no, I appreciate it. I love it when you guys keep me up to date on certain things, because I'm one guy, I can't, there's so many things that I'm already focusing on. I can't always focus on everything and know everything that's coming. And I try to, I really do, because I'm supposed to be bringing it to you guys. So I love it when you guys back me up and you guys do the same back. Talica with another 5 bones, or 10 bones. Holy cow. My bad. Talica with the 10 bones. I damaged my XM24 cutting a frozen yogurt open over my sink for my son and smacked the granite of the sink cut out, and it's chipped to where it doesn't cut. That sucks. That sucks. Yeah, man, that's one thing, man. Those low angle edges do not like granite. Even a high angle edge doesn't like granite. So when you have a good razor sharp slicey edge, you don't want to be nowhere near granite. But I mean, it can be fixed, so not too big of a deal. We'll fix it up. But yeah, that sucks. That does suck. I did one the other day. I was sharpening. It was the end. Is the end of the sharpening. Like literally, I'm going from my finishing stone to the strap, and I have this metal sprayer for my stones, and I lifted up the knife and I just went bam right into it. Like it was as if I geeked out or something. Like just I hit it like out of nowhere. Like why was my reflex that strong and that hard? But fucking totally knocked the whole tip off. I'm like, damn it. And that's happened before with little things like that. Like it's like you're finished, finished project, you're looking at it, and then just bam, something happens. And you wind up smacking it on the stone or something like that. I did that to a customer's knife one time, and I had worked so hard on it. So hard. And one of the problems was a bad tip. Got it all the way done, and then I bumped the tip. So it just barely chipped, barely. But the point is, though, is that takes on an entire new edge now, entire new reprofiling when I just got it done. Oh, it sucked. Steven, with the 2 bones, I'm on the road and I'm just doing my part. Steven, man, I appreciate it so much. Thank you, man. And be safe on the road. Ian, with the 5 bones, Jared, you ever messed with the GiantMouse Jutland? If so, thoughts? I don't think so. I can't even think of that. I'm gonna look it up really quick though, because I like GiantMouse. That new one that was in the going gear thing, that's a really nice GiantMouse. GiantMouse Jutland. What? How don't I know about this? Where have I been? I can get one too. Where the fuck have I been? What is going on right now? It's LMAX 195. I love LMAX. I might have to get this. How didn't I know about this thing? How long has this been out? Where have you guys been on this one? Huh? Is my wife in here? I thought she was playing with possums. People who are nice to animals are always good people. Keep feeding them. They need good people around. I agree. I think the way people treat animals says a lot about them. I've always been an animal lover, so I've always paid attention to that. That's always been like a big thing for me. And I could never understand people that don't like animals, especially like people like that like hate dogs and things like that. And don't get me wrong, I've known a lot of people that didn't like dogs. They were fearful and scared of dogs, but that was different though. They were more fearful of dogs because they grew up in areas where dogs would fuck you up. So it was more of a fear thing, but just people that just downright don't like dogs for no reason. I can't understand that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably grab one of these, man. It looks pretty badass. I don't know how long it's been out, so they have a little native, an S30V. All right, I'll just hold off until I'm done with this, and then I'll grab it. I'll just hold off. Whoa. Guess I might as well get on my own video. All right, what do we got here? They have the little native and S30V that is a Warncliffe. They also have 2 new PM3s for the breast cancer awareness. Pink and lime green G10. Huh. Maurice has a fetish with clip points. I think some people are drawn to obviously certain blade shapes like clip points. Some people love them, some people don't. But the people that do love them, it's just like with me. Like there's certain blade shapes that just naturally draw my eye. I used to not like clip points at all. Now I'm attracted to certain ones. Certain ones I'm not, but the specific ones I am. And one I am kind of attracted to is like the ones on like the old timers. I don't know why, but like the old slip joint ones, those ones look kind of cool to me. But then I love straight clip points. If I'm gonna get one, And this GiantMouse is a clip point. So, which, like I say, certain clip points are not great for everyday carry, but certain ones are. Like straight clip points are amazing for everyday carry. You know who else is kind of a little bit of a at least I think, is Stas at 23. Stas 23. I think he likes his clippies. Yeah, Maurice, spear points are probably my favorite. Spear points, I love a good drop point, but specific ones. I love a good spear point and then a sheep's foot. Those are my favorites. And a kind of a blend between those, like a modified version of any one of those is my favorite. Like a modified sheep's foot or a modified drop point. Like the Chris Reeves drop point, I love that. Absolutely love that. Or in my opinion, the most useful blade shape, the most, is the Spyderco one. The Spyderco blade shape is like it's unmatched when it comes to EDC. It literally does everything that you need to do with a knife. And I'm talking about like the Spyderco Mannix. That blade shape is like just or the I guess you could say the PM2, but I was gonna say the was it the Stretch? I think it's called the Stretch, the Endura, those blade shapes. That's the best blade shape. Like when it might be ugly, but when you fucking use it, when you actually use it, you find out like, oh, this blade shape works better than anything else. You can do utility cuts. You can, if you need to actually break down like game or anything like that, you can easily do it. If you need to break down cardboard, if you need to cut straps, it literally is. It's a versatile blade shape, and that's why I would imagine that that's why Spyderco chose it. I'm guessing Spyderco was trying to figure out, okay, what is the best blade shape? Like, and that's what they came up with, you know, the leaf shape, I guess you could say. It's, I guess, a drop point. Some people would say it's like kind of a modified Warncliffe in a way. Some people would say it's a drop point. Some people would say it's a leaf shape. But I usually would call it a leaf shape. A flat ground leaf, there you go, leaf blade makes you feel like a ninja. They cut anything great, right? And you have all that leverage down into the tip for precision cutting. Seems logical. What's up, brother? When they stop trying to fight me every time I go to sit at my park bench, I will stop feeding them bread. Until then, they will enjoy the misery of carbs. Kara's got some business for you. Ian says, she says her obese, overweight possum is going to come and fuck you up. He came obese. She didn't make him obese. She's just adding to it. Ian says, I love me a clip point. Love a traditional clip point. For an example, the clip point of the Appalachian Drifter 2 is perfect for me. Yeah, I love that blade shape too. But specifically on like the small knives like that, like for a big knife, I wouldn't want it for an EDC blade shape. I would want more of a straight clip point. But I know what you're saying, because that's exactly what I was talking about. Like when it comes to slip joints or like the small, like old traditional knives, I like the way they look. I just think other blade shapes work better for EDC, but when they're that small and compact, it works great. But when you get it into a bigger package, that's when I think when you start getting those clip point buoy styles, it's more for hunting and things like that, not specifically for EDC, because it's just a little bit too big. The tip's too high. You have to raise your arm up too high to get to the tip. So in that case, I want a straight clip or other. Maurice with another 5 bones. Thank you, brother. Shout out to Maurice. The penguin blade is a gem. Yeah, sheep's foot. Sheep's foots are the shit. What are your thoughts on the Arkona Baran with the interframe lock? So I've only briefly seen it. So I'd love to try it. I know as much as you guys do. I've seen other people, look at them and talk about them, but I haven't tried one. So, but it looks interesting. I would love to get one in hand. Jeremiah is asking you a question. Read it. Hey, Brian's in here. Transparent Knives. Let me scroll right here. All right. The 15V Mannix 2 that is coming out. Tested at 65 HRC. Also going to be stonewashed instead of the usual satin. Really? That's awesome. And I think around $160. This is the one, guys. I'm 100%. Like I already told Triple B, like 1000% I'm getting one. I want to try it. And 65 HRC. That's awesome, man. That's badass. I did not know that it was going to be stonewashed, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I need another Mannix, so you know, it's a good excuse. And I, you know, I want to try the steel. I love getting to try new steel, so something like that just excites me. Will B, you've been a member for 7 months, man. Shout out to the Spartans and the Bang Gang squad. Let me see if I gotta catch up. Everyday EDC with the 5 bones. What's up, Paul? Jared, you check out the scales at all yet? I haven't personally tried it. I mean, I've seen them on the internet and stuff, but I've never tried any. No, I want to. I was gonna get a set a while back, and I wound up getting a set from I don't remember. I think from Rip's Garage or something, but I want to try them because I know I've been watching people rave about them for a long time now. That's true, said. Yep, there's going to be some vultures around that one for sure. That's why I got to get mine fast. The thing is, I don't know when they're going to be out. I tried asking Triple B, he doesn't know. So between now and 3 months, 6 months, who knows? So I don't know. I'm just going to keep paying attention. Mannix is the best knife. Anyone who complains about the jimping is a wimp. Who complains about the jimping? But yes, it is one of the best knives, in my opinion. When I get a new job, I'm gonna donate a solid amount. You guys entertain me more than HBO Max. Dan, Mark, thank you, man. I appreciate it. That's awesome. That makes me feel good. I seen Brian Transparent Knives who's in here. I was actually right before we went live. I was trying to watch. I didn't get to finish it, but I seen he was talking about. You guys can just go watch it. I'm not gonna, because like I said, I didn't get to finish it or anything. But he was talking about this Magnum Cut steel and a company, the way they were running it, and I don't want to mess up exactly what happened, but you guys should definitely go and watch it. I love the research he does and how in depth he gets. Like, that's why I trust his opinion so much, is because when I think of Brian and, you know, from Transparent Knives talking about something, I feel, I'm confident that he's done research enough to that whatever's coming out of his mouth, he believes 100%. Like, he's not saying it because he feels a certain way or with feelings or anything like that. It's because he's actually done research, you know, went through the numbers, and this is what's coming up. And I love that about him and his content. I complain about the handle jimping on the Mannix too, but I make no claim not to be a little bitch. I've never had a problem with I don't really care about jimping too much, like whether it's there or not, but I've never really had a problem with Spyderco's jimping. The jimping I hate, and I fucking despise. Normally, like I said, I don't care. Jimping or no jimping doesn't matter. But the jimping I despise is like the jimping on like a Praetorian. There's like a jimp every quarter inch, and it's, you know, just sharp as hell. Like, that just doesn't even make sense to me. Gloves, like people say, like, oh, well, it's for gloves. What? It doesn't even make sense. It's just obnoxious. Maurice with another 5 bones. Zachariah, OTT's dance instructor is D'Angelo Greco. Thank you, Maurice. Yes, he is, Ian. Yes, he is. Zachariah says the Kizer Cormorant original Sheepdog Towser are all coming out in fat carbon and Elmex steel. That's badass. Hopefully they do LMAX some justice. I'll say this. I mean, I haven't done a controlled test or anything. So all I've done is light duty EDC stuff, sharpen it. I've got multiple knives in it, but they're not doing a bad job with their 3V. Now I don't know how tough it is or anything like that, but as far as edge sharpening, holding an edge, they do a pretty good job with their 3V. I've got 4 or 5, maybe 6 knives, maybe, I don't even know, in their 3V. I haven't sharpened them all. I haven't tested them all, but that's what I got. But I've 100% sharpened and tested at least 3, and it hasn't felt bad. I was happy with it every single time. So what did you carry to? I actually have the Spyderco and Maximet in my pocket today. Earlier, I had the Drop Bear in my pocket for a little while, and then I swapped to this. I also had, for just a brief moment, I threw the wee Speedster in my pocket because, you know, I pulled it out and I was looking at it because I'm doing this video on underrated knives right now. And I started thinking, like, man, like, you would think more people would be kind of raving about the Speedster, and I just feel like I haven't heard too many people even say anything about it. It's almost like it came, it's here, but I don't know how many people want getting one, but it's a damn good knife. I mean, of course, I have some, you know, some minor complaints, but all in all, solid damn knife. Great profile, very nice and slim, easy to carry, great action. They did a great job on the flipper tab and detent. Yeah, just a solid one. Really, really good knife right there. The wee Speedster. Maurice with another 5 bones. Damn it. Breeze is, I can't even see that. So be gentle. Sid says, think it would be awesome and informative to have some of your vids on. I agree. And I was actually going to leave a message because I seen he was doing a video on Instagram where he was doing it like a tabletop down thing. And he was talking about an issue he was having like with his phone. Doesn't matter. But I was going to send him a thing saying if he ever needs any help with editing or filming or anything, want some tips or anything, just reach out, man. I'm always willing to help out in any way I can. I have a Worksharp precision sharpener and I want to sharpen some of my Kizer knives, but I am nervous I will mess it up. I need like an angle guide or one of those electronic angle finders. So you don't though, because you have you have the degrees already on there. So it doesn't matter if it's not perfect, right? What matters is that clamp it, make sure it's clamped well. Set it to an angle that you want between like 17 and 20 degrees. 20 degrees, it won't take you as long to sharpen. So I'd set it to 20 degrees per side, right? That until you start getting good at it, then you can start lowering your angles on different steels. But at first, just go with 20 degrees. That's a good edge angle for learning how to sharpen. And go to town. And nothing to it but to do it. You got to get on the stone. You got to start doing it. And the more you do it, you'll get more and more confident. Don't worry so much about the angle. Worry about just matching it, which if you have the system, you just have to flip it. So don't worry don't get too crazy on angle finders and stuff like that. Just clamp it, set the guide to 20 degrees per side, and just roll with it. If it's a little bit off from one side to the other, no big deal, right? It's not that big of a deal. Don't let little things that people that have been doing sharpening for a long time that they get critical on themselves over, don't get critical on yourself over those things. Learn how to sharpen. It doesn't matter. You're going to have mistakes. No matter what, you're going to have mistakes. So just deal with them as they come. And yeah, just get to it. Because you're gonna wish you started earlier. You know, that's how it always goes with everything. Once you start, you'll really start getting it down, and you'll realize you don't really need to worry too much about that. You can worry about the angles later. John Doe. Jared, Let me see if I can find it over here. Sorry, guys. I'm trying not to have to read down here like that. Jared, what is that one super important calendar date that you can remember without even trying? And what was its significance? Jared, what is that one super important calendar date that you can remember without even trying? Yeah, I. What? End of the. What are you talking? No, I didn't do anything on a calendar. I'm not sure what you mean, John. I feel like you're asking me what is a date that just stands out in my head that holds significance to something. That's what I feel like you're asking me, but I might be wrong. But yeah, if you can ask it again, I would appreciate it. I'll answer it. I'm just not understanding. Transparent Knife says, have you considered doing any contest similar to the mod contest Metal Complex did a while ago? It would be cool to see stuff like best titanium milling patterns on production or custom knives contest. No, but that's not a bad idea. I don't know what contest you're talking about from Metal Complex. But I don't know how people would enter it, like saying like send me the best titanium milled knives and then pick which ones are the best. I'm guessing that's what you mean. I like doing those things either way. I recently I was thinking about doing my own video on looking up knives that I just think are just downright sexy, like fucking badass knives. Like they'd probably be mostly unobtainable, but in doing a video on those, I have a thing here. I was going to ask you guys, what is a custom knife that if you had the opportunity to buy that you might actually buy? So I got this thing I got the question because earlier I seen some Usler customs, and ever since I got to handle the duck, and the duckling from Usler Customs, I love the way they look. I love the action, and that's a knife that if I had the opportunity to buy one of them, I just might pull the trigger, maybe. I'd obviously love to get a Recenti and knives like that, but there's certain knives that, excuse me, like you're just not going to be able to afford. But maybe if there was a good deal on something like that, I might pull the trigger. What would yours be?
The Tom Mayo small Warney covert, the titanium one.
The Tom Mayo small Warncliffe Warney? Huh. I practiced with my grandma, full ass knives from like 1920. Just received the Boker Klishnikov dullest edge for a brand new knife. Oh yeah. What's up, Mike? Jared has a great video on and makes it seem so easy. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. What was I about to say? I was just about to say something. Yeah, but it was something else. Did I write it down? Oh yeah, Canadian Cutting Edge made a video calling out knife channels. So if you're a knife channel, go and watch it. Canadian Cutting Edge. So he did a video calling out us channels, saying that we need to start talking more about edges in videos, that we are basically letting these companies give us shit edges, specifically their edge angles, that where they're not consistent at all. They're basically doing a swirl on the edge where like at the heel it'll be like 25 degrees, and then in the middle it'll be 32 degrees, and then towards the tip it'll like it just. And I know exactly what he's saying because I talk about this stuff all the time, and so I know exactly what he's saying. And if we were yelling more about it, companies would start doing a better job. And it really irritates me when I get a knife and I go to start sharpening it, and there's one part of the edge that's so different from the rest of the edge that it takes me forever to get it out. I'll have the entire edge done, like it's completely sharpened, but I have one part of the edge that will not come out. And it takes me like probably like 5 sharpenings worth of steel removal. So steel I wouldn't have removed otherwise, but I had to remove that much steel in order to get this little speck out. And that's why I always tell you guys, just leave it. Don't even worry about that shit. When you have a part of the edge that just will not get hit, leave it, because you're going to wind up, in some cases, you'll wind up removing 5 years of life from your edge just to get it. Like, it's ridiculous. And that pisses me off, because it's as if when they were sharpening it, however they sharpen it, so like they went in at an angle before they started, you know, going across the belt or something. I don't know, but it's just the difference in degrees and the angles, and it's almost never perfect. There are some companies that do a decent job compared to everybody else, but all of them are guilty. All of them. It doesn't matter the money you spend. It's all of them. And we do need to talk about it a little bit more. Metal Complex had people send in entries to an email, and then in a series of videos, put 5 entries in each video for people to vote on in the comments. Then a final video with the best from each video. I did not see that. But shout out to Metal Complex. No, I did not see that, but that sounds badass. I was gonna do one of those things like best damn EDC. I did it a long time ago, but I should probably do it again, where you take a picture of your EDC, like your EDC dump, pocket dump, whatever, but it has to be a good picture. I'm looking for good quality photography, and send it to me. And then I wanted to do a video of your guys' EDC. The problem is the last time I did it, I only had a handful of people send me pictures, and they were all crappy pictures. No offense. A lot of people just don't know how to take pictures. But when I try to take a picture that you sent me and then put it in a video, it doesn't, if it's not really clean and like a good picture, it's going to look really grainy in a YouTube video because of the way how it transfers over or whatever. But I want to do a video like that. Dukes of Hazzard with another 5 bones. Your custom knife, my custom knife. I wish, man. I wish. There might be a little something in the works, but it's not going to be a custom. But one of these days, I'd love to do a custom. I had a chance, kind of. There was a guy on Forged in Fire, you know, the show. His name was Jared, spelt just like my name, which is crazy because I've never met anybody. Was his last name Neve too? Yeah, right. Yeah, his last name was Neve too, right? The other way, yeah. So his name was Jared Neve. Now this is the craziest part. He lived in one of the cities, the city I was born in. So we literally were not far from each other, and he was on Forged in Fire, and then I found out, like where he lived and everything else. And when you watch the show, you see them go to their house, and they're using their forge. He got second place. And check this out. He got second place, but he could have won. Like, it came down to such a line of which both of them were perfect, and they had to decide one of the losers, or one winner, one loser, and the one had a more comfortable handle. That was the only reason why he won. So it was the tightest competition I ever seen. And I contacted that guy, and he told me, this was a long time ago, he told me I could come by and meet, and he would help me make a custom knife, and then we'd make a knife together. But he was leaving for the Navy because he was in the Navy. We have a Navy base in North Chicago, and he was leaving. So he wound up moving before I ever got a chance to get over there. I regret it, but shit happens. Neve got the Wait, Neve gave the best advice. I used to struggle getting the tip sharp until I saw a video of him explaining not to go more than halfway past the stone. Yeah, when you're using a fixed angle system, the tips are the most difficult part. That's the part that's going to give you the biggest trouble. So when you're doing it freehand, the tips aren't hard to do. But when you're using a fixed angle system, it can be a motherfucker to get the tip. You just have to realize that it'll get hit, right? Because you don't see it getting hit, so you think you're missing it, but it's okay. Continue working and don't go past it, and the grip pattern will work its way to the tip. You think that the grip pattern just needs to hit it. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to eventually hit, but the steel has to get removed in order for it to like find its way to the tip. If that makes sense. Probably not, but I'm trying here. Formula with the boink. Thank you, man. Thank you for the 2 bones. Some of the 20.5 stock blade edges are criminal. I so agree. I know what you mean. The same issue, like that I was just talking about, the heel of the edge of multiple that I've sharpened was so difficult to get. I would have to remove probably 3 edges worth of steel just to get one specific point of the edge at the heel on those 20.5s factory blades. I usually sell the stock 3V blades for $80 each, but if I get one and the factory edge is bad enough, I just sell it for 30 or 40 and disclose that. That sucks, but yeah, man, some of the factory edges, man, they're so bad. Some of them are so bad. And even if they're sharp, like you can have an edge that's incredibly sharp, but it's still a piece of shit edge because of the way it was sharpened, between the angles being mismatched, or because of the way they went about their angle. It's like just misground like crazy. I've seen everything when it comes to edges, and it's a beautiful thing when you get a knife and the edges are consistent on both sides. It's rare to find it consistent on both sides perfectly, but if you can just get it to be consistent on both sides, even if they don't match each other up, that's still a win, because in many cases you can fix it yourself after that. But in many cases, when you notice, like if you notice, like say the tip, right? The tip, you notice there's a big ass bevel on one side and then a tiny bevel on the other side. 90% of the time, that's the grind, not the edge. So on one side of that knife, the grind is thinner at the tip than the other side. And that's the reason why the edge bevel is smaller. So when you resharpen it, you're going to have the same issue if you have the same angle. So if you ran 17 degrees per side, when you get to the tip, one side's going to be a big edge bevel, the other side's going to be a tiny edge bevel, even though you're using the exact same angle, because it's the grind. Maurice with the 5 bones. I'm the real 8th wonder of the world, the real deal. Oh, Maurice, the 8th wonder of the world. Hey, Ian, thank you for the 2 bones. Yeet. Oh, man. I know eventually I'll have to explain myself, but as long as I can keep saying boink, I will. That's hilarious. I think Tucson and Max Ace do a pretty good job with their bevels, edges. Yes and no. I would say nobody's perfect. So I don't want to sit here and make it seem like it's easy to be perfect, right? I'm not saying that at all. But some of them are so bad that it actually is a bad purchase. When you and the reason why I'm saying this, like, understand what I'm saying. If I go to resharpen it and I don't have a problem resharpening it and I resharpen it and it comes out good, fine. But if I go to resharpen it and parts of the edge won't get hit because it's the angle is so mismatched that in order for me to hit one part of the edge, I have to remove like a year's worth of steel from the blade. That's not good. Like, you should get your money back for something like that, because and we're never gonna, like, I'm not saying to do that, but because we never will. But if we start screaming about it and complaining about it, they might start fixing it, because it does get to a point to where, okay, well, now you just got a brand new knife. If you want to resharpen it, well, you're gonna have to lose 2 to 3 years of steel to sharpen it. That's bullshit. You shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to sharpen your edge and it come out good from the jump. And, things like that we should see every once in a while. It shouldn't be one every, like, because it seems like the overwhelming majority of edges are not good. And I don't mean, I'm not talking about sharpness, right? Like, a lot of edges come plenty sharp for a factory edge, but a lot of them do come with way too high of an angle. And the reason why they put a high angle on the edges is because they want it to be tougher. So most factory edges, not all, but most, come over 22 degrees. Some are way higher than that. Some of them are like 30 degrees. That is a very high angle for an edge. And the reason why they do that is because it's going to be tougher. So if you're tough on your edge, it's not going to chip or anything like that. And then if you want to lower your angle back, fine. And I don't mind that. Like, that never really bothers me because I sharpen. If I didn't sharpen, then yes, it would bother me, right? I would want like the factory to do a low angle and that would make me happier. But since I don't mind sharpening it myself, I don't mind if there's a high angle because I'm going to sharpen it regardless. But I don't want it to be like a swirl, right? I don't want it to be 30 degrees, 22 degrees, 25 degrees, 15 degrees, like literally like a snake. Antimatter with the 5 bones. I just got the Spyderco Capara and it has 2 perfect edge bevels and sharpest knife I've had out of the box. They're doing it right. Hell yeah. No, Spyderco has been the sharpest I've ever felt a knife come out of the box, sharpness wise, has been from Spyderco. Now, Spyderco has some of the worst misgrinds I've ever seen. However, they do good edge angles. I'll say that from the factory, good edge angles. Excuse me. And their heat treat's really good. So I'm usually pretty happy with their shit. Now, their biggest problem is the heel, kind of like what I was just talking about earlier, is they'll have a spot right here where they come in, where the robotic thing does it, or however they're sharpened. When they come in right here, they'll grind it in deeper right there, and then the rest of the edge, and that spot can be a bitch to sharpen out. I just leave it. I just leave it and I just let it come out after like 3 or 4 sharpenings. It eventually comes out. But if I had to, if I tried to remove it with the first sharpening, it would take away about 4 sharpenings worth of steel to remove it. And that's on most Spydercos. That's the way it is. I just leave it and let it come out as I sharpen. But yeah, they're really good with doing high levels of sharpness and good quality edges. And I don't mean quality as far as edge angles and things like that. Sharpness and how well they hold up. That's what I mean. Because there's a difference there. There's so many like variables, right? Because there's levels of sharpness, right? There's levels of cutting performance and the edge angle. Then there is the edge angle, or the grind that's on the knife, because how the edge gets sharpened on there is going to be determined on the grind. Then there's the edge angle that they're putting on each side and how well it matches. So lots of little variables there. Arrowhead, I had to send 2 20.5s back to Demco to be rebladed due to the bad bevels. Only on the clip points. All my sharp foot Demcos have been spot on. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. there's been times where like I've thought about like, man, just resharpen it. But knowing what I know now, like sometimes it's not worth it. Like I've ran into some sharpening jobs that it's like, motherfucker, like you get mad, like you start getting angry, like because now there is no like. I mean, I guess maybe you can return it. I don't know, probably not. But it's like there's no going back now. I got to deal with it now, and yeah, crazy. Dukes of Hazard with the 2 bones. What's your most overrated knife that disappointed? Well, I'll tell you right now. Give me 1 second. 20 bones from Carcoat, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Spent way too much today. Might as well keep it going. Thank you, Carco. I appreciate it. So as of right now, the closest thing I can think of at this exact moment is that Sharp by Designs. The Sharp by Designs. Let me just grab it. So I got the 2 Sharp by Designs Apexes, and I like the way they look, right? But then some of you guys had to go on and start saying it looks like a Star Trek knife, and you fucked it all up for me. Now I can't get Star Trek out of my head. I don't know about Star Trek, but I know exactly what you guys mean. But that's not what kills it for me, because that's okay. I'm okay. I like the way it looks. I think this thing looks badass. I don't like the hole, though. Now, the most disappointing part is this damn clip. It makes you angry when you put it in your hand. It's that uncomfortable. It's bad. It's bad. And I can't get over it. I can't grab it because it's a reminder. Every time you put it in your hand, you flip it open, you're like, ooh, that action. You're all happy about it. It's like, ooh. Then you go like this and you're like, ah. Like it's bad. And I just don't understand. Like, why? Why did you have to put the hole in it? Why did you have to put the clip? To any knife maker, knife designer, whatever you're gonna do, like knife related, like designing or making, don't ever put the clip on the spine. Don't do that. That's where your hand has to wrap around. Nobody wants to feel an edge in their hand. And maybe if they like rounded it really good, I love the knife. But it's very disappointing. Very disappointing because I would never want to use this more than 1 or 2 cuts. Like right now, me squeezing it like this, and I'm not like squeezing it too bad. It's literally like cutting into my hand. It's bad. And I love the knife. I love it. And it's so disappointing about that clip. I can't get over it. How can I get over it when it's a reminder every time I pick it up? Like, I'm trying to think, like, I wonder if I could put it on a grinder or something and round it over. Like, I've tried thinking of all kinds of stuff, because the edge is a little sharp right there. Maybe I can just like round it or something. But man, this part gets you. This little point right here, this whole edge gets you. You feel like crazy. But then I thought, well, maybe the the front flipper version would be better because you could scoot up. And in that case, I think I might be okay with it a little bit more, but I didn't buy a front flipper one. I bought 2 flippers. Yeah, 2. I bought 2 of them. What an idiot. Zachariah with the 10 bones. Can all you fine folks help a brother out and get me to 100 plus subs? I'm 7 away. I have a huge giveaway, 12 knives and 25 plus EDC gear. Go and follow Zachariah. Give him a hand. Maybe somebody can link his channel. Please. Can one of the moderators please link his channel so people can go over there and follow him, give him a follow, get him over 100. Dukes of Hazard with the 2 bones. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I would just remove the clip and make it. I don't like slip joints like that. Like like, or I know what you mean. Make it like a slip, like put it in a slip. I can't. I like clips. I like having a clip. Like, I don't like carrying knives without a clip. I know I could get a slip and put it in my pocket, but I would just not carry it. That's what would happen. I would wind up carrying something with a clip because I don't want to have to take the thing out of my pocket and pull it out. I'm not that age yet, guys. I'm not that old yet. Maybe in about 20, 25 years, I'll start doing that. Like right now, I don't mind carrying a knife in a slip, but that's secondary to my primary. That's different. I can't carry my primary in a slip. Can't get right. I'm gonna Nate Dog. I'm gonna wind up doing some designs. I really wanted to, just in all honesty, I wanted to design a knife in the US. That's what I really, really want to do. But I think it's impossible. You know, I'm gonna try to reach out to like some of the companies because I have yet to have reached out to ProTech or Hogue or anything like that. And I could do that. I'm gonna try, but I don't think they'll take me seriously. I think they'll basically tell me to go fuck myself. So the only possible way, if I do, which I do, like I'm very passionate about this. I want to design a knife. I would love to just be a downright knife designer, you know, and design a lot of knives. I would love to do that. But I want knives designed and produced and made here in the USA. But it just might not be possible. So hopefully maybe in the future I can. But the first couple might have to be from overseas OEMs. Just might be the way it is. And then in the future, you know, hopefully one of the USA companies will talk to me. But damn it, the action on this knife is so good. I love the action on Sharp by Designs. Sharp by Designs has the best detent next to like the magnet knife. So good. So good. It's so good. Don't know if I can plug myself, but I'd appreciate. Right, come on. I'd appreciate some follows on Instagram. I'm at 882. Let's get me to 1K. Go follow Ian on Instagram, guys. Get his ass to 1,000. You know, it's crazy. I don't even have really. I know like a lot of people would think it's a lot, but I really don't have that many followers on Instagram. Not compared to YouTube. I never have. I've tried growing it. I think I'm at like 8,000 or 9,000 right now. But compared to YouTube with over 200,000, let me see what I got. I want to see. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, baby. We're almost at 10,000 on Instagram. But yeah, I put most of my efforts into here. I'm hoping to start because now I can actually monetize on Instagram to some extent. So I'm going to start doing a little bit more effort on Instagram. I'm going to start putting more effort into TikTok. I just started that. So, but YouTube Shorts, I put effort into, and I'm going to start putting more into. Custom EDC knives. Thank you for the 2 bones. How are you doing? And here you guys go. There's some links. Follow those links. Subscribe to their channels. Really like Pinion Story, I think you should. What? Really like Pinion Story, I think you should. I don't know what that means. I'll take it though. Okay. Maybe I should. Dukes of Hazzard with the 2 bones. What would your knife consist of? Well, if I tell you guys, somebody's just going to steal my design. Well, I have a few different designs. Like right now I have one drawn up, which would probably be like the first one. And then I have a few others. I obviously have a bunch of different designs I would love to do in my head, but specifically for like a because like a hard use knife I would design completely different than other knives, right? But specifically for like an everyday carry knife, I would want a specific type of blade shape, but even more so like the relationship between the blade and the handle would have to complement each other. And the little details that make a good EDC knife would have to be done very well. You know, specifically like the plunge grinds, right? Um, the access to the lock bar, right? The comfort of the lock bar, the clip placement, clip itself, how it feels in the hand, things like that. The geometry of the blade geometry. Now I don't think it's a bad thing to have blade edges to be a little bit on the thicker side, like say 20 thousandths, right? I think 20 thousandths is fine, but don't have 20 thousandths on a blade that's 1 inch tall at 180,000 stock thickness, right? Something, you know, you'd want it to be a thinner blade, if it, like kind of like TRM, right? TRM, there's like 90 thousandths thick, they're 20 thousandths behind the edge, but they're broad blades, so it has good geometry, even if the edge is a little bit more robust. And in many cases, that might be better for a lot of people, because a lot of people, you can be a little bit tougher on your edge while also still having the cutting performance. It's not all about thinness behind the edge. Obviously, crazy thin edges cut better than thicker edges, but the blade geometry itself is what's important. The thickness of the spine and the taper, how it goes down to the edge, is the most important. And you can have something that's a little bit thicker behind the edge as long as that's right, because you can always put a low angle on it for your sharpening bevel. But that's what I think my knife would consist of. Jelly Jerry's in the house. What's up, man? American knife companies are tough to reach out to, but I think if it's you, you might get a good shot. Well, you know, as much as I want to pull that card, I'd probably have to. I'd have to probably pull, you know, I got a channel, blah, you know, that card, and like it'll be a win-win for you, you know. But I don't know. It makes me feel a certain way. I don't want to do that. But I'd probably have to in order to get into any USA company, like to get them to talk to me or even be willing to work with me. I don't know if they would, right? Because from what I hear, even other people that have tried have not gotten anywhere. So I don't have the confidence that I'll get anywhere. Unless if you're willing to, you know, you got them bands just flying out the sky. If you have that, then yeah, but which I don't. So while we're at it, sure would appreciate you stopping on by and subscribing. Go subscribe to Newcastle Ninja. Everybody, shout your channels out now. Maybe the moderators can link them for you. The PMP Harmony slip joint has a nasty good plunge line. Wait, damn it. Nasty good plunge line edge termination, but I've seen from China, don't know their OEM is, but worth checking out. If an OEM won't go over 62 on anything, S9EV is good. You know, I know what you mean, and it's kind of weird, like that they won't go over 62 on just about anything. It's kind of weird, because I'm sure there are some that will, because from what I've heard, there are a couple companies that will, like they've said, like we'll go up to whatever, right? It's just whatever the person requests. And most companies or most people or whatever are not requesting. But yeah, a lot of men, you never see them go over anything. I got the what is this thing called again? The Beetle. I know this is a slip joint, but damn it, does it have good geometry. It's like 74 thousandths blade stock thickness, and it's super thin behind the edge, but it is so thin. Look at how thin this blade is. It's 74 thousandths thick, the blade stock thickness. That's crazy. And it gets down to like, I don't know, 10 thousandths behind the edge, something like that. Give or take, I forget. But very comfortable in the hand. No clip, that's why. Very neutral. but it's got the all the stops, which I think is kind of cool. It makes to where you can kind of close it one-handed safely. But super good geometry on that. I think this is this a, what is this, M390? Yeah. But Max Ace, they're doing a decent job. With S90V, I mean, I love S90V, so, but like anything, you know, you want the companies to do it well, just because it's a steel, whatever steel you know, they do. You know, people get excited about it because they want that steel, but it doesn't do anybody any good if it's not going to be done well. You know, it makes it to where a bunch of people try a steel and then that's their perception of that steel. Right? That's their perception. And the same thing happened to me like years ago when I first got into this shit. I would try a steel out because I would be able to afford blank, you know, knife from blank company. And then that would be my perception of that steel, even though it was a shitty perception. So I don't, you know, I'd love to see the company, lots of the companies do S90V and LMAX, like we were saying earlier, but they got to do it some justice. Do it well or just don't do it at all. Do a steel that you can do well. I think that would be even better than just running whatever steel. I don't care if it's even a simple steel. If that's what you can do well, then do that. You got to give credit to some of the companies that even they stick with certain steels, like just for an example, right? Concept. They haven't been running out and doing every other knife in 204P and 20CV and M390 and all that stuff. They've been just sticking with S35VN. And some people were upset at that. I never got upset at that because the way I look at it is I'd rather get their S35 if it's done well than have them do M390 and do a shitty job on it. So I just want to see the companies do it well. Jared, is there any reason I actually need a Hogue Deca? If not, can you suggest on an alternative? I would say you don't need it, but it's a good one to have for these couple reasons. So, one, it's lightweight. It's a damn good knife. Now, if it's the one in Magna Cut, you know, they're probably going to raise, or from what I heard, they're going to raise their HRC on it, but they were doing it a little softer. So that's a thing. But if it's the 20 CV version, I mean, they're doing 20 CV like every other company, but it's a good knife. It's USA made. It's lightweight. You know, so there's a lot of great things about that knife. That knife's a good knife. I like the Hogue Deca, but the alternatives would be Benchmade Bug Out. Other USA knives, the can't think of it. The Delica. The Delica would be a good one. And I think the Delica might even be better, to be honest, because you can get the Delica, and I'm not sure if you can get the one in K390 anymore, but they have different steels you can get it in, and Spyderco does a good job with their heat treat. Delica's a badass knife. Dukes of Hazzard with another 5 bones coming in, just making it rain. I've worried about disengagement of a button lock in a gas station fight. Is there one better than the other, recessed wise? So yes, so I have the same fear, right? So my biggest fear of button locks is that they're not going to be a tough lock. Now, theoretically, they have the ability to be tough. They do. They do have the ability to be tough. There are some tough button locks. Like my Freeman back there is it's a tough button lock. But they have to be doing it well because the spring is pushing the lock into engagement. So as long as the lock geometry is done well, it's going to be a strong lock because it has a spring pushing tension, always pushing that plunge into the lockup position. So it's always pushing it, making it stronger. Now, if their geometry isn't done well, then yeah, it can slip, right? Just like any lock. You can say the same thing about frame locks, liner locks, any lock. but if it's done well, it really shouldn't be that weak of a lock. But yes, making sure it's recessed so it's not easy to push the button by accident, things like that. It would always be, you know, obviously better than if it's popping out and it's easy to disengage by accident. Um, but yeah, I have the same fear too with button locks and other locks too. I like to make sure that I'm using a lock that if shit went south, I can trust it. Even if it never happens, just a thought that I was, you know, that if something did, I'm okay. Kunwu sounds like a promising OEM. I talked to Sergio and he's very into steels and heat treat. That's awesome. That's good to know. He also speaks fluent English, easier communication. I would reach out to him and field your ideas. You know, I've actually recently been speaking with them, and yeah, no, I agree. And I love that when I do get in contact with some of them and they speak really good English, you get a good rapport with them and it feels a lot better because that's not always how it is. But yeah, no, that's great. I haven't really talked to him about heat treat or anything, but that's good to know. Some these guys, you know, they're just like us, you know, just because they're producing knives, making knives, or working for an OEM doesn't mean that they're not knife nuts. Obviously, there's going to be some that are not, right? Some of them are just there for the money, but a lot of them are there for the money because they're knife nuts, you know, they're doing their passion. Maurice also making it rain with another 5 bones. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. What's the lifespan of a typical EDC knife? How much can you cut? How many sharpening? So that's all about geometry. So obviously a broader blade is going to have a lot more lives of sharpening in it than a narrow blade. So it's all about the geometry of the blade, the broadness. So lots of variables there. Then the steel, then the heat treat. So lots of variables. Like there's going to be some steels that hold an edge longer than others. Then there's going to be some that have better geometry. So it all just depends. But I would say if you're spending, because it also depends on the amount you spend and things like that. Like if you buy a shitty $10 gas station knife, you can't expect it to last more than a month. All right. The lock's going to fail on you. It's going to wind up messing up. And if not, it's at least going to be hazardous. So, but if you buy a good quality EDC knife, it should last you a couple years of you sharpening it often. And, you know, if you take care of it, obviously the more you sharpen it, the shorter the lifespan. I know it's a dumb question, but is that a spice rack next to the woolly mammoth skull behind you? That is a knife rack. Those are knives. That was custom made by someone from the community. Patrick. John Doe. That's a knife rack. Yep. It's a knife rack. I got another one. I showed you guys the last time, the last live. I got this magnetic one. This thing's pretty cool. They're magnets. So there's a magnet running across the top. It's pretty cool. That case though, if you guys didn't see that EDC valet cash box or whatever the hell you call them, that thing's pretty cool. I actually like it quite a bit. Now I understand for the money you could get one of these, the big wooden one I have from Harbor Freight, but with a glass top and just like stylish wise, if you really like, you know, having a good looking EDC box, the thing's badass. My friend passed just now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Folks always have my respect. I'm sorry to hear that, Robert. Oh, well, where the hell are the spices? Mannix versus PM2. I'm going to say Mannix. I do like the compression lock a lot. I think it's one of the best locking systems on the market in functioning wise. Now I would say if you're gonna get one, get yourself a CME from OCD for EDC. Don't hesitate, get one. You will not regret it. You'll be so happy you got one. It makes it to where you can use your Spyderco's left and right-handed because it puts a button on it. OCD for EDC. It's called the CME. But I've rarely ever felt a compression lock get blade rock where you get blade play up and down. I've rarely ever seen that unless if something's just not put together right. But if it's assembled correctly, everything's tightened up right, they always seem to be nice and locked up really good, really solid. I've rarely ever seen blades or lock slip or anything like that. It's a securely tough lock, and I like that. No, it's not as strong as like an Axis style lock, but Axis style locks do get blade rock. So even though they're stronger, they wind up getting that little bit of rattle, right? Just a little tiny bit, but that little tiny bit can be annoying. It's not going to fail, but it's just annoying. The compression locks stay nice and strong. Now, the ball lock from the Mannix is the best of both worlds. It's like it's strong, it's durable, it's made to be opened and closed over and over and over and over. So it's like even if you play with it to death, it's not going to suddenly start getting blade rock. It's always rock solid. The lockup is always like on point. Yeah, I think the Mannix locking system has been probably in my opinion, one of the best made locks on the market. I don't know why they don't do more like that. I know they have other ball locks on their knives, but they're always like weird. I mean, literally the exact same lock as the Mannix with the buttons on the side and everything. They should do that. More and more and more and more. Yeah, I think the leaf shape Spyderco blade shapes are the best. For EDC, they're the best. Functioning wise, if you had a competition and you had 5, 10, 15 different blade shapes, and you all had a competition you go through, and it was all EDC knife related stuff, the Spyderco blade shape would win every time. Love my PM2, but I really think I want a Mannix. You do. You do. They're great. Did anyone get a relative today? Which one was the relative? Oh, yeah, the EMP. I did not. Maybe I should though, man. That's a good one too. That's a damn good one. I need to wind up getting one of those. Since I've gotten to try them and I get to review them and test them and everything, sometimes bad as I want one, I always have to think about the channel. And since I already have it on the channel, it doesn't benefit me for the channel, right? To buy one as much as I want to. So I have to think about those funds to benefit the channel in some way. I found a used Mannix 2 Brown G10 M390 black blade and added a brass ball cage and ceramic ball. It's amazing. Nice. Yeah, I got the titanium cage and I have titanium scales on one of mine. I never changed my ball out though. Jim Q says it is crazy that once I got the Demco 20.5 sheepsfoot customized what I wanted it, I haven't even thought about getting another knife. That goes for a lot of knives. When you get a knife and you make it the way you want, it can, it can kind of fix that itch. You're happy, but I've always got, something else I'm chasing. always, you know, like if say if I built a knife and I was dreaming and drooling over milled titanium and, you know, maybe a specific type of clip, and I did that, and the other side of my brain would be like drooling over something in micarta or something in this blade shape or that blade shape. So that's just the way my brain works. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you can fix that itch for a little bit, but eventually it'll come back. What? Concept Convict for $150? Is it the double thumb stud version? If it's the double thumb stud version, don't hesitate. That's the best concept knife, in my opinion. It's a sheepdog design, and the double thumb stud version in particular is amazing. If it's the single-sided stud, I would say don't get it. Get the other one. Spend the money and just get the double thumb stud version. It's well worth it. Even if you have to pay the $200. Yeah, don't get it, Aaron. Don't get it. If it's the single, don't get it unless if you do not like to reverse flick or like to flick left-handed, because you can't turn it around and flick it left-handed, and you cannot reverse flick it. You can only thumb flick that one. So for me, I think they're both great. Like, I fell in love with the original one, the one with the disc thing. But once I tried that double thumb stud version, oh man, they fixed the choil and and the double thumb stud. Just, it's a badass knife. It's such a good knife. Maurice making it rain with another 5 bones. All right, Maurice, you taking off? Well, dude, thank you for all the bones, man. Dropping it like crazy, man. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good night. Dukes of Hazzard coming in hot again. Are you guys in a competition? Besides overpriced eBay and the controversies of whatever, where does one find a Hinderer XM24? That's a tough one, man. You got to get into like the community, get on like Instagram, follow all kinds of Hinderer pages and stuff like that, and go to Instagram and look up knife sales. Constantly follow that hashtag. Not with knife spelled like knife, with KNAF. Follow those, KNAF sale. Yeah, get on what's it called? Knife Swap. Get on Knife Swap. That's basically how you got to do it. What's my opinion on Kizer's heat treatment? Depends on what. So I think they did a good job with their 3V recently, at least on the couple examples I've tested and tried. But I haven't done a control test on it, but it feels pretty good. Like, it didn't stand out anything as negative. I was impressed with their 4V. Surprisingly, I was pretty surprised or pretty impressed with that. Didn't do a control test on it, and I have a few knives, but I haven't tested them all. But the couple I have, they were pretty good. Now their M390 and 20 CV, it's not bad, but it's just like basically everybody else's. It's ran lower than it should be. Right. So pretty much it's on par with everybody else's. It sharpens up good. It holds a good edge, but it could be far, far better. Right. It's not going to compare to something you're going to get from Spyderco. But they also, you know, their prices are relatively decent for what you're getting. Now, as far as like their N690 and 154 CM, it's good. I think their 154 CM has done really well. They do a really good job with that steel. Their N690, they do a good job with that as well. It's not like a super steel or anything, so don't expect magic, but for what they do with it, they do a good job with it. But yeah, all in all, they're decent, right? It's not horrible. It's not outstandingly well. Like their 154 CM is really, really good, but all in all, with all their steels, S35, M390, 20 CV, 4V, 3V, they do a decent job. M390 and the 20 CV is just where you're going to get where most companies are just not doing it justice compared to what they could. So There's a Hinderer XM24 Bowie on knife sale right now. Will be coming in hot. Kizer's 154 CM is done excellent. Yes. Yeah, they do a good job with it. I'm not a heat treater, but I've heard, right? I've heard that 154 CM is a pretty easy steel to heat treat. So I can't confirm or anything. I don't heat treat any steels, but I think some steels you're going to have a better chance of getting it done well by certain companies. Kind of like 14C28N. I think that's a steel you can kind of expect as long as they do a good job consistently. Then I think 14C, you have a really good chance with a lot of companies that it's going to be done well, right? It might not be done to the best 14C28N's ability, but you're never going to really find it done poorly. At least rarely. Brian says, I remember back when Kizer's S35VN was the worst in the world. They've come a long way, although some stuff like the 10V could use work still. So I've got one knife in their 10V. I sharpened it up. It felt fine, but then I shipped it out, and I actually just recently got it back. I haven't done anything with it since I got it back. But I have no doubt, 10V, I think I got it for like $80. So the way I looked at it was like, I'm getting 10V for $80. Like, if they do it half-ass good, I'm gonna be happy with it. Obviously, like I even said, like compared to my K390, for those of you that don't know, K390 and 10V they're kind of similar. It doesn't feel anything like my K390, right? But not much does. So the 10V that's on my Spyderco Sheepdog, I'm happy with it. I spent $80 for it. Takes a ridiculously sharp edge. It holds it fairly well, but I have no doubt, no doubt at all, that if I didn't do a test on it, that I wouldn't come out with saying like, they should be doing it a little bit better. But I haven't done like a test on it or anything. Brian with the 5 bones. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure I'm about to be getting into heat treating myself. Yeah, I seen that thing you posted about possibly doing some stuff. I seen that that post you did on Instagram. Let me catch up. Oh, Dukes of Hazzard coming in with another 5 bones. Man, he's just making it pour at this point. Give a shout out to the Rocks. Let me find it over here. Give a shout out to the Rocks Termana Tequila for all these super chats. Thanks for the content, passing on the $50 knives for the big boys. Thank you, Dukes of Hazzard, man. I appreciate all the donations, man. Thank you so much. Jeppers, I'm probably gonna order the heat treat oven tonight. Damn. Oh yeah. What's up? What's going on? Joseph. But yeah, that's awesome. Lacey, if you're gonna be doing some heat treat, that's badass. I seen you saying that you were thinking about getting a belt grinder and all that good stuff. Get her done. I know I've been watching Chef Kalari, Super Still Steve. He's been doing some work behind the scenes. I'm waiting for him when he finishes up finished product. I'm going to be buying one of those for sure. The people that are using knives for criminal use are 8 and 12-inch kitchen knives. So don't think your 3.5-inch knife will help. CCW is the way. Yeah, Brent, I disagree. Let me explain. So, obviously, right, if you have a firearm, that's your first line of defense for specific things, right? not everybody can carry a pistol. Not everybody can carry a rifle or a pistol, right? Like me, I'm a felon. I can't carry legally. I can't, right? So I have to go with the next best thing. I can do black powder. I could do that, right? Black powder isn't considered a firearm, so I could legally carry that. But let's just take that off the thing. Let's just say I could carry. Even if I could carry, I still want to carry a blade. A blade and your firearm go hand in hand together, right? For self-defense. Like I always bring up the times when you can't use your firearm. It's good to have another tool. Like I give this example, right? You're with your kid and a dog attacks your kid and you can't get a shot off without hitting your kid, right? The next best thing would be a blade. Something like that. Or you roll over in a car, you're not, and your seatbelt's choking you or something. You can't get it out. You know, you're underwater or something. You're not going to shoot it off. You're going to cut it off, right? You're, you get shot, right? You need to tend to your wound. You need to cut your pant leg off or cut something to wrap around it. Like it's a tool that's used differently. It's not the same. Obviously, if you have a threat coming at you and you can use your firearm, fucking use it, right? If you're capable of carrying it and all that. But that doesn't stop that a blade might be needed just as much in a different thing that you can't use a firearm, right? Like not everything ends a threat by killing it or by shooting it. Some things need to be cut. And that's why I say they go hand in hand together. It's just the difference. And, you know, if you listen to anybody, and I know I'm going off the rails now, but if you listen to any survival expert when they're out in the field, their most important tool is their knife. The most important from making shelter, food, all that good stuff. That's what's important, right? Even if you have a firearm, the blade is going to go hand in hand. Obviously, you can use the firearm to hunt the food, but for every fucking thing else that's going to determine whether or not you survive, it's going to be done with a knife. So I think of self-defense in many different ways, not just stopping a human attacker. And even in that case, sometimes, you know, something like that, it might be the better bet too. Just depends. Why would anyone compare a knife to a gun? Right, and that's what I always think too, Shane. I never compare them. They're just two separate things that work hand in hand together. But I've seen knife attacks. So to like I know what a knife can do to somebody. Like, and it's no fucking joke. Like most people, I think like if gave you the option like to get shot or shanked, a lot of people would pick getting shot over getting stabbed. There's something about the brutality of just being stabbed. But after seeing people like really get stabbed and people die and shit like that, like you realize like knives are nothing to mess around. I remember watching this guy. There was like this, it was just a tiny little scuffle between this guy he was on a bike and this other guy was walking and they hit each other, right? You'd think it would just be like, oh, my bad, right? No, the big dude that was on the bike started talking shit to this little dude. Little dude wasn't fucking having it. This dude was like, it was a maniac, like crazy. Pulled his knife right out. Didn't even argue. No words, no nothing. Just pulled his fucking knife out, went right at dude. Like it was almost like there was something wrong with dude. So as soon as he pulls his knife out, goes right at dude. Dude tries to drop his bike, tries to back up like this, and he's trying to like fight the guy off. The dude just bam, 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 really quick, and then just takes off walking. That dude stumbled about 6 feet, dropped right there, dead. And it was so fast, and it happened like nothing, just the blink of an eye, quick. If you weren't watching, you would have missed it. And and you see like, and that guy died. Like it was, and the way he passed out, like he didn't even get a few steps and dropped. Stab me, don't shoot me. Stab me, don't shoot me. I'm totally done. See, I'm kind of the opposite. I think, like, obviously it depends on where, but when I think of a bullet, I think it just depends on how your brain works, right? Like, when I think, of a knife, the gruesome, the knife going, how gruesome it is going in you versus something that's just so fast. I think a lot of people's brains work that way. I don't want to have neither one done. A gun would have helped in that story. No, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. What would he, when would he, how? How would it have worked? It would have never worked. I promise you, the guy would have never had time. They ran into each other. Dude said some smart ass shit to dude, got off his bike like this, still had his hands on the handlebars. Dude pulled the knife out, went at him. Dude dropped the bike and was like trying to scramble, backing up, didn't even have a chance to get his hip, was already popped 2 or 3 times. And then dude started walking off. Dude stumbled and died. And it like that. I'm telling you, the guy never had a chance. The guy never had a chance to grab a firearm. But he did start it though. The big guy that died did start it 100%. But that just goes to show you don't know who you're fucking with, and you could be fucking with somebody on the wrong day, and obviously it was the wrong day for that guy. It was just some little white dude, some big black dude, and it was so fast. Like you would have thought that the one dude would just mollywomp the dude, but that's not how it played out because dude had that blade and just knew right where to stick it, and you know. Would you recommend Veneve diamond stones at a lower grit? I've been wanting to get some, but it's finicky to get them here, and I'm not sure if it's better at higher or lower grit. So if you have diamond plates, it's going to be basically the same. The big advantage to Veneve stones at low grits, at coarse grits, is that they don't wear out fast. So if you're doing a lot of sharpening and you're sick of wearing stones out, then yes, it's worth it. But if you're just wanting it for sharpening purposes to reprofile, a diamond plate's going to act the exact same way. It's not until you get to, excuse me, it's not until you get to the higher grits and the higher microns, that's where the Veneves really shine. Excuse me. It's because they have the ability to give you a polished edge with diamonds. Most diamond plates stop at like 1200 grit. Yeah, there's some that are 2000 grit, some are 3000 grit. They wear out so fast. You take a 3000 grit stone and start sharpening it, it's going to wear out like immediately. So that's the beauty of the Veneves, is that you can get those ultra fine edges, those really, really fine edges on the super steels that require diamonds, and they're not going to wear out. You can use them for over and over and over and over for a long time. So, like I said, if you want a diamond plate, a coarse diamond plate that's not going to wear out fast, then they're great. But for reprofiling, I say get Atoma. Atoma is really aggressive. Obviously, they're going to wear out, faster than, a Veneve, but they're going to be a lot more aggressive. So if you want something for, for reprofiling, I would just get a low grit diamond plate. Dukes of Hazzard with another 2 bones. Okay, sell me a best front flipper and I'll buy it. Best front flipper? I don't know about the best, but I can name a few good. I mean, the whippersnapper is a really good one. The Olamic whippersnapper is a really good one. If you don't care about how uncomfortable the clip is in your hand, they make the Sharp by Designs has the front flipper version of this, which I have no doubt is an amazing. And the ergos are probably a little bit better because you don't have the flipper tab in the way. If you want something on a budget, the the Kizer Squidward is a really good front flipper. The Tucson TS 267 is a really good front flipper. There's a lot of great front flippers. 100% Atoma 140 for reprofiling. Make it quick and move. Yeah, right. That's what I use. Even when I use my coarse Veneve stones, I first hit it on a 140 It tears the steel up. I don't need to be on the stone any longer than I'm already gonna be, so I might as well remove that steel fast. Then I can jump onto my Venives. But usually I don't reprofile on Venives. I normally reprofile on a diamond plate on an Atoma. Then I move to Venives. I mean, there's sometimes if I don't have much reprofile, if I'm keeping the same angle, then yeah, I can start on the Venives. But if I'm dropping a 25-degree edge bevel down to 15 degrees per side, give me a fucking Atoma 140. Because that shit hogs metal. The one problem, which it's not a problem, it's just the way diamond plates are, that they wear out. They wear in. So a 140 is going to turn into a 300 grit pretty soon, right? Especially if you do a lot of sharpening like me. Like if you're not doing a lot of sharpening, that 140 will stay 140 for quite a while for you. But if you're sharpening daily, then that 140 is going to turn into a 300 grit pretty quickly. But 300 grit Atoma is still badass. They're 400. They make a 400 grit that's also really aggressive. Shit, the Atoma 400s, you can reprofile on that. They're pretty aggressive. So their 140s are, they're very fucking aggressive. I really want to try out the super vitrified stones too. I really want to, man, from Triple B. Yeah, I dream about shit like that. I almost had a chance a while back, man. And like I was sitting there with it in the cart, just staring at it. Like I'm talking about like 5 hours. Like like because I didn't have the money. I did not have the money, but I mean I did, but I didn't, you know. It's like one of those things. Like, do I need to eat? Like, do I really need to fucking eat? You know, as long as I'm feeding Kara, I don't need to eat. Right? Fucking find some grass or something. But I wound up not doing it. And then when I went back, like just to see if it was still there, they were gone. So Atoma 120, 400, and 1000 are all great options. Yeah, it's 140, 400, and then 1000. Yeah. But yeah, the Atomas are great. And if you're on a budget, you can get the Ultra Sharps. The Ultra Sharps for $138, you can get three 3x8 diamond plates, a 300, a 600, and a 1200 grit. And if you're on a really, really tight budget, you can get the 2x6s, which are still, you can still freehand on 2x6s. That they're only $51 for 3 diamond plates. And they're good diamond plates. They're not as aggressive as Atomas, but they're still diamond plates. I mean, 300 grit diamond plate will fucking hog some steel off. They break in and then they eventually wear out, but they're still good. Trying to decide between Kizer original button lock versus the Civivi Altus button lock. Which would you choose if you can only have one? I would choose, most people I think would choose the Altus. I personally would choose the original. But so it's difficult because okay, the original feels like better quality. It's made of aluminum. It's nice and solid. It has a really nice smoothness. And the Altus has really good action and has a better blade shape. So it's a little bit bigger, so a little bit bigger size, and it's better like as an EDC tool. The Altus is better, but just as a cool, you know, lightweight EDC knife, the original just it has a feeling to it that's really nice. So both are great options. Like I said, I do think the Altus is the better tool, but I like the original a little bit better. I would go with the original. I do reprofile on my Boride T2 400 grit stones. It's good, but reprofiling M390 with it is a nightmare. Yeah, you want an Atoma, man. Get the Atomas. You get a fucking Atoma, you'll never go back. Like that's the way it is once you get an Atoma. Once you get an Atoma, you will never buy another reprofiling stone because they're so aggressive. It like everybody has spent, well, anybody who's sharpened quite a bit has spent like a long time reprofiling. When you find out that it would have taken you a quarter of the time, if not less than that, to reprofile the exact same thing if you had the Atoma, you realize how much time it gives you back. It gives you life, if that makes sense. It literally gives you life because it gives you time. That if you take an hour's worth of reprofiling and turn it into 10 minutes, that's fucking 50 minutes of life you just got back. Britton says, stabbings are brutal and ugly, but guns are what kill. All I'm saying is it's a great equalizer. I agree. A small woman can use a gun and win against a 300-pound bodybuilder, but a knife is second best. I 100% agree. I think that obviously I don't think that's debatable of what's going to be better for ending a threat. 1,000,000% won't debate that with you at all. I just think they're two tools that go hand in hand together, because I would say, like, if something happened and that same female got injured, right? She might need to get to her wound and might have to cut off her clothing. Or she gets into a car wreck. And like I said, the seatbelt needs to get cut off, right? It's not her firearm that's going to save her there. It's the knife. So just different scenarios for different tools, but I 100% agree. Yeah. And if you're capable, and even, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I think everybody should carry a firearm. I think everybody should be trained in firearms. I think every man should teach their sons and daughters how to use a firearm. I think everybody should be very knowledgeable on firearms. I think it should be a must. If I was the president, it would be forced upon everybody. Forced. Jared, the hardest reprofile I've done was my Medford Smooth Criminal. That S35 wouldn't budge. Used the Atoma 140. Damn. That 140 hogs it off. But it depends on the angle you're doing. Obviously, if you're dropping down something and Medford does a pretty good job with the heat treat, but if you're trying to reprofile down to 15 degrees per side from a 30-degree angle, it's going to take you a little while. Even with that, but yeah, it's your best bet, because using something else, it would have taken you 3 times as long. Thanks, Quentin. If you had a big fat belly, wouldn't that help if you got stabbed? I think, yeah, to some extent. Depends on the blade and depends on where you get stabbed. If you got stabbed directly in the stomach, as long as it was on one side, on your left side, then I would say, yeah. But that same guy with the big belly, if you start getting hit from the side, it don't matter. It's going, your lungs are going to get punctured just the same. If you get into the back, your kidneys are going to get hit just the same, or liver or whatever. So, but yeah, if you're super, super obese, super fucking obese, then yeah, I would imagine. But probably same thing with a bullet too. To some, depending on the caliber. Man. When I not to get into too much of a story, but when I shot my brother when we were younger in the stomach, it wound up ricocheting off of his organs, and they wound up, when they did the surgery on him, they had to pull it out of it was like near his chest. So it had ricocheted off of a bunch of organs and then landed. So like messed a bunch of stuff up. Average Joe with the 5 bones. Well, that settles it. Neeves 2024. Oh man. Can you imagine? I should do an Instagram post now just to see what everybody says. It sounds odd, but big-breasted women have escaped because the boob took most of the blade. I would imagine. I'm sure that's definitely happened. Imported by your heart for sure. I want that tiny slingshot. I think Tops makes it. I recently bought a slingshot. I don't remember why. Me and Kara were thinking about doing. Oh yeah. We were thinking about doing a slingshot video, and I thought about getting like 5 slingshots. and like just testing what's the best slingshot you can get from Amazon or something, right? So I wound up buying one of those daisies. I got it in the other room and I bought a whole bucket of the metal balls. That thing's more, I mean, I had one when I was a kid and I used to hunt with it and stuff. But I usually used to go hunting with guns, but I used to have one when I was a kid because I did archery and all that shit. But I forgot how powerful they were. I took a bunch of boxes and stacked them together and shot really close. It went through all of them, like all of them, all the way to the ground. And I was not expecting that. I was expecting it to go through 1 or 2 layers. It went through like 5 or 6 layers. But they have this one online that's a compound, just like a compound bow. It's a compound slingshot. So, you know, you have double the power from you pulling it back, and you can get lasers for it, sights, all this shit. Like, it's crazy how powerful this thing is. And I was watching somebody do a test on it to see if it could kill somebody. YouTube doesn't like that. See if it could end somebody. And sure as shit, he took one of those, you know, fake humans that have like the bone structure and everything in the inside, and he got it. I think it was, I forget how far it was, like, I don't know, 10 yards, 20 yards or something, and he got it right in the side of the head. And yes, it cracked the skull and went to the brain. There was like one that just lodged in just the way it went, but other ones for sure would have been a kill. And that's crazy. Hell yeah, it would. The one that I got wouldn't do that, but damn it, it hurt. I've been shot by paintballs and all that stuff. That thing would be very painful, especially if you got hit in the head or something. In the eye, you're gonna shoot your eye out. Yeah, the ballistics gel human body, though, the one that simulates a real human, the one with the organs and everything. He took one of those. Yeah, ballistics dummy. Yes. Well, especially a compound one. A compound one. So you have the pulleys on there. So just like a compound bow and arrow, but in a slingshot. That's badass. I was watching this guy, he had an air rifle, right? These air rifles are so powerful. They're so powerful. They're insanely powerful. Like, it's way stronger than a 22. Way stronger. Like, I forget what it goes up to. You can read the things on it, but it goes up like, oh man, what did it go up to? I can't remember now. Anyways, but these things are super powerful. And this guy, he hunts with them, and he was hunting coyotes, deer, everything with this air rifle. I think it has 7 shots. There's all different kinds, but the specific one he had holds up to 7 shots, so you know you can repeat. And yeah, this thing was super powerful. He was hunting at like 100 yards, hunting deer, if not farther. But yeah, hunting deer, coyotes, all kinds of shit. The beauty of it is that it's silent. You know, when you're 100 yards away, it's pretty quiet. The animals, like, say, so he could kill one, and then the one would run a little bit, but then stop, because, you know, like, he would hear the sound, you know, from far away. So he'd start to run, but then they'd always stop because it's not super loud. So then you'd see the animal looking around and just, you know, why I'm getting taken out too. So he'd be able to take out like 3 or 4 coyotes in one sitting. You're gonna be out there practicing slingshot on Chunky. Look, oh kebab, kebab's gonna be getting the test. Yeah, I thought about it. Kara would fucking go crazy. Can you imagine on her cam, on her outdoor cam, all of a sudden she sees a ball come by, and all of a sudden she sees my feet walking by. Oh my God, I'd hear it in the morning because she checks her cameras every morning. Oh fuck, I should mess with her. Just do it, just for fun. Go out there and, hey baby, on the camera. Didn't know an air gun could take game animals that big. I know. And these, well, I've had really powerful ones too. Like, I had one that would shoot, I've had a few, but they'll shoot 1,200 feet per second. there's certain there were certain pellets that you would get, the high velocity pellets, and as long as you had the high velocity pellets, it would shoot over 1200 feet per second. But these ones are even more powerful than that. Like, it's on another level, and you have different size. Obviously, it's not, you don't, like, it's not just like a regular pellet. You can go up to like the bigger size. I forget the size. You'd have to go look at it, but very powerful. And yeah, I mean, it's just like shooting a rifle. Same thing, just it's air powered. But I think the one I used to have was a Benjamin. Was it Benjamin or Sher? Was it a no, not Sherman or Sheridan, or I forget. A Benjamin, something like that. But I used to have one back in the day. Do you think a glow rhino thumb stud will fit in the drop bear? I don't know. I know I have one right here, actually. I mean, it's the standard thumb stud that Kizer comes with, so probably. I mean, I don't know the exact measurement of the hole, but you know, it's a standard thumb stud, so probably. Has anyone here tried to diesel a pellet rifle? Holy shit, it's scary. I have not, but I've done, you know, I've done quite a bit with firearms, though, especially a long time ago. Dukes of Hazzard with another 2 bones. Okay, let's do a chunky knife recommendation. The Thug. The Thug. That's a pretty chunky little Tonto. It's a dual ground Tonto. Great quality, though. Good quality, good knife. It is a chunky little fucker. Yeah, that's what I'd pick. We don't want to shoot 1200 feet per second. We want to shoot around 920, 950 feet per second. And the most weight we can push. My Impact 35, I take feral pigs with all the time. Put it right in the ear hole at 100 yards. Benjamin was good until Crossman bought them out and cheaped out on the construction. Yeah, I had one. It was an older one, but I don't think that's the one I'm actually thinking of. It was a different brand. I thought it was like with an S. I can't, like a Sherman or something. I can't fucking think of it. But I've had a lot, man. I've had a lot. Like, I've had, when it comes to like air guns, I've had a lot. But like just even firearms in general, like I used to collect. So I used to have a massive firearm collection, like massive. Same thing like what I do with knives right now. I used to do the same thing with firearms. So Jared check out the Tucson TS 346. I'll check it out right now. Tucson TS3. Oh yeah, I did. I seen this. Somebody had it on the channel the other day. And I was looking at it. I forget who, LTK or something. I don't know, somebody. But yeah, it looks pretty dope. Yeah, it looks like a good one. And I'm always looking for the good ones. $440 steel worth the time or no? If it's $440C, yes. If it's under a certain price. $440C over $25, 25, maybe 30. You can go up to $40, but over $40, 440Cs, unless if it's like by like a really good knife maker and it's like a custom or something like that. But if it's specifically from a production company, you know, as long as it's 440C and not just regular 440, then yeah, I would say it's pretty good. You can relate it to 9CR, right? So if you'll spend that much for 9CR, then 440C and 9CR are very similar. And some 440C's done very well. Like Buck's 440C, they do a really good job. They even have 420HC that's done really good, better than some other companies. So it does depend on who's doing it. Jared, look at the Tucson TS254. Insane looking slip joint. Tucson TS2. Let's see. Oh yeah, I've seen this one. I've never tried it, but I've seen it. I like that it has a clip. No, it is pretty cool looking. I like that blade shape. That's a badass blade shape. Here, I guess I'll show you guys. And it has a clip. Good looking knife. Shane's like, I've already been down that fucking road. Still got a piece of one in my ankle. Damn, that sucks. Kara is playing her game. I can hear her. I can hear her playing her game right now. Anyone else get on the EMP EDC relative pre-order? Just got my nimble in today. Nice, good for you. I did not get in on it. You know, like I was saying earlier, I get them in for review, so I get to check them out before. I absolutely would. I want to. Like, it's that good. I want the knife bad. And, you know, it's just, I always have to think about the channel. So the money I put towards things, even the knives, I have to think about the channel. And that's a knife I've already got crossed off the list on the channel. So me buying it wouldn't benefit the channel whatsoever. It would just benefit me. And trust me, I want it bad. But I just, you know, I have to really think about where I put my money. And right now I'm already, you know, like I'm waiting for pre-orders from last year that I spent money on. So Jared, check out Jeremiah's question. He has asked a few times. I'm sorry, Jeremiah. Anyone else get in on the EMP? Oh, is that the one I just answered? Yeah, but that's my answer. But I want to though. And I'd probably, like, if I could just buy one outright right now, I'd probably do it. But for the pre-order thing, it's just difficult because, like I said, you know, it wouldn't be good for the channel, you know, and I have to always think about the channel always. Oh, okay, Zachariah. That's probably where I recognize it then. That's probably where I recognize it from. What's she playing? Kara! Dimesia. Dinesia. How did you hear me? I didn't think I said it loud enough for you to hear that. I have some older Spyderco battle songs in 440C. The regular ones have held up very well. However, the two that are the rainbow Spiderfly do have some patina. Jared, you want to see badass air guns? Look up AEA .72 on helium. I think that's the ones I'm talking about, is the helium. Or maybe not. I don't know. I forget the ones I was checking out. Helium. No, I don't know. Yeah, I have to check this out later. But yeah, I forget the site I was on, but I watched this whole thing with this guy, like I said, doing all this hunting shit. When I seen what he was hunting with it, and I seen like how he was putting down deers and just everything, putting down big bucks, like it was crazy. I was like, damn, this thing is really powerful. And not like up close, like he was getting them at, you know, a good distance. Everyday EDC with the 5 bones. Fun fact, I named the relative. got a free one on the way for it. Good for you. Oh yeah. Huh. Fun fact. Jared is more the 50 Desert Eagle carrying type. Right. Facts. Facts. I used to have I've had a 50. I used to have a really nice 454 that I really liked. It was what was it? What the hell was it? Oh man, I can't even think now. My brain just farted. I can't even think of it now. Was it Super Blackhawk or something? I don't know. My brain just farted on me, so doesn't look like it's coming through. I remember one time I went to the range with my dad. My dad went to get me a gun. I don't know what it was, but it was fucking powerful. And I was at the range and I put one round out of it, and it hurt so bad to shoot it. Like I literally thought, like it felt like my thumb got ripped off. Like after the first, shot, because it like twists in your hand. Like it was so powerful, but the kick, and it was mostly due to the handle. Like if the handle was different, it wouldn't have been like that. But the kick from the handle hit you so hard in the hand, like literally when you set it down, you're checking your thumb because it's just. I put 3 rounds out of it. After doing that, I was like, maybe I was just holding on to it wrong, right? Squeezed it with all my might to make sure like it's not going to kick too crazy. I put 3 rounds out of it. I put it down. I said, I don't want to shoot this thing anymore. Like, this thing is fucking scary to shoot. Yeah, for sure. Yes, sir. Yeah, I had a Raging Bull. But that's not what I was thinking of. But I had a Raging Bull. I've had a lot of firearms, man. I've had a lot. I missed a super chat. No, I got that one. Did I miss a different one? Was this? Oh, Dukes with another 2 bones. What's Kara carrying right now? What's in your pocket? She's got it on her desk. What's on your? She's got like 10 knives around her right now on her desk. She's carrying for sure. I know she's got the wee Kulix, and I know for sure she has the Hinderer half track sitting right next to her hand right now. Yeah, 454 casual definitely has a lot of recoil. Hey Jared, what was your first knife? John, thank you for the 2 bones. My first knife was it was like I think it was a Schrade, but it was like a buck 110 style knife. This one I was like 5. My dad gave me a pocket knife. It was so big, it was massive. It was one of those big buck 110 style knives, but bigger. So it was massive. I think it was one of those Schrade old timers or something, but I used to have to, in order to unlock it, because I couldn't push it, I'd have to put it against like the corner of a table and push on it and then close it. It was way too big for me. And I was walking around with this big ass knife hanging out of my pocket. And I went everywhere with it. And my grandma seen it. And she goes, like, what the hell do you have in your pocket? My dad was like, hey, you leave my boy alone. My boy can carry whatever knife he wants to. That's the way my dad was. Oh, good old Pops. Pops made sure you were carrying a knife. He got me started early on everything. Everything. Andrew, what's up, brother? I haven't seen you in a while. Had one of those massive buck styles as well, like a 4 or 5 inch blade. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, that was my first ever pocket knife. But then I wound up starting to collect because I was collecting at a very young age. Me and my dad both. My dad obviously was the one buying them and stuff because I was too young. But we had a pretty big collection. Then they wound up getting stolen, and wound up getting more, and shit happens, blah blah blah. But a lot of fixed blades, a lot of hunting knives. Before I got into like real pocket knives, because back then good pocket knives probably existed, but were a lot harder to obtain than they are now. So back then, I only remember backlocks back then. But then, when liner locks and frame locks started becoming more popular, basically assisted knives became popular. And it was a while before like good quality knives, good action came out. I carry a Chief Special 36 on me with rubber bullets. Makes it a lot easier. Damn it. Makes it a lot easier to bribe commie cops and probably will only get some fines if caught instead of jail time. Yeah, that sucks, man. That sucks when you got to deal with commie police officers and government, state, whatever. Dukes of Hazzard with another 5 bones. He has not let up, dropping all kinds of bones. Alaskan Red Hawk 2-inch sub 454 casual is the first gun that I said nope. No. No fun. Sell that fugger. I know what you mean. Yeah, man. Sometimes, man, some of those my buddy, he had the I think it was the snub nose 50 Smith and Wesson. I think it was a Smith and Wesson. And I shot that thing, and that thing, it twisted. That was a scary thing about it, was that it twisted when you shot it because the barrel was so small. So when the round comes out of it, it like literally, like no matter how hard you're hanging on to it, it's gonna twist. So it was like, wow. But yeah, I remember that thing was a little scary to shoot. Like obviously after you start shooting it, you're fine. I had this little it wasn't an actual Derringer, but it was a side-by-side Derringer style, right? But it was a 410 shotgun and 45 long Colt. And the handle on it was only a 1 knuckle handle. So you just put 1 knuckle around it like this, and you hold on to it with 1 knuckle. And the first time I shot that, I'm looking at that thing like, damn, this thing's gonna be crazy. Like you get like a little nervous, like what's this thing gonna do? But after shooting it, you realize, oh no, this thing's easy because it's designed to just pop up. So when you shoot it, you only need 1 knuckle to hold it because it's just gonna go pop. That's all it's gonna do. And yeah, I think it was easy as hell to shoot. But the entire barrel is the same length as the bullets. So it feels crazy putting in these big bullets or shells inside of, this little ass, piece. It's about the max for me to where it's still fun to shoot. Yeah. Whoa. You see that shit? You guys don't even see that. Look at this. A damn spider just came down right in my damn face. Look at that thing. You see that shit? They're coming after me. I shot a 20 gauge with a slug once. Never again. I will not shoot anything over 12 gauge again. Well, 20 gauge would be smaller. 12 gauge would be larger. You might mean a 10 gauge. Because there's 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 16, then 20. 20 would be smaller. 20s are easy to shoot. But you're probably thinking of a 10 gauge, which is very powerful. Jason, that's a lot less than 6 months ago, but it's really, I'm not going to read it. All right. What do you think about blades without secondary bevel? So I think it's fine. Convex grinds like rock studs. I think it's awesome. I love the thought of a Scandi grind or a convex, grind, a zero grind. But they're going to be better for specific things. But yeah, I think it's awesome. I love the thought of different knives and different grinds, different types of edges. Just like even chisel grinds. I love the thought of chisel grinds. Chisel grinds are badass. I think everything's good. It just always usually has a purpose. Now, specifically for EDC, I mean, it's fine Just, gonna strop it often and sharpening it depending on how the grind is. Because if it's a convex, it's not going to be easy for you to sharpen unless if you're good at it. If you're good at sharpening, because you're not going to be able to sharpen it on a system, you're going to have to freehand that. So if you're good at freehanding, yeah, fine. But most people are not going to be that good and might make it ugly. Now, if it's a fixed blade or something like that, not a big deal. But it just depends on your level of knowledge on edge maintenance and how to take care of something like that. Because most people don't want to sharpen a rock stud. Let's put it that way. But now, if you're talking about some fixed blade, yeah, not a big deal. You're going to take some sandpaper and put it on some leather, and go to town. They make a 4570 Derringer. Look it up. You would strop it. That's what you would do. So, you would strop it though. That's what you would do. You have to start. It's just like doing an edge bevel, except for the entire grind is the edge bevel. So if you're going to do it on a stone, that's fine as long as it's a V ground grind. If it's a convexed, then you're going to need sandpaper and leather, and you lay it down on the leather and you strop it, starting from the top of the bevel all the way down to the apex. And you do the exact same way you would doing it sharpening an edge bevel, except for you do the whole grind. So you just treat the whole grind as the edge bevel. Hey, nice fast is in here. Hey, Jared, opinions. QC today and shipping on Monday. You guys hear that? You got the opinions coming on Monday. That seemed like it was pretty quick. Oh, yeah. I think Jared took that spider and placed it in the vape pen. Gone. I just eat them. Vaping spiders on the daily. I have a Japanese made 10 gauge that will slug your shoulder for sure. Yeah, 10 gauges are no joke. What's up, good people on the internet? What's up, Josh? Shit had me. Watch those guys that shot that .95 caliber rifle on YouTube. I'll have to check that out. Had a Remington 30-06 no recoil pad. It earned the name Shoulder Buster. An eye bleeder. Oh, fuck yeah. Right at 90 days or so. Yeah, see, man, time flies, I guess. But good timing. Better than later, because a lot of things don't run on schedule, which obviously everybody can understand. Can you sharpen a Scandi grind with a system like a Work Sharp? Yes, but it's probably not going to come out that good without experience. But yes, you can. It's going to take a lot. The thing is that those stones aren't big enough to do it. So you're going to wear your stones out incredibly fast. You're going to wear your stones out. That's probably the only sharpening you'll do is that, because you're going to wear the stones out. And you might not be able to clamp it good enough to where you can hit the bevel. So possibly not. It just depends on the actual grind. How much room do you have to clamp it? Do you still have room to hit the bevel? So usually you want to freehand them. You can do it on fixed angled systems, no problem. You just got to treat the grind like the edge bevel. And in many cases, your system is not going to have the ability to do that low of an angle. Because remember, you're going to have to go down to a 5-degree angle or something to hit from the back of the bevel down to the apex. So sharpening straight razors, I personally think the best way is on natural stones. That's personally what I think. That's the best way. You can do it on anything though. I've done them on diamond. I've even done them on my veneers. But I think the best way is to do them on natural stones. Obviously, you create an edge bevel just like anything else. It depends on the straight razor too, because there's different kinds. So I'm specifically mentally thinking about the hollow grind versions, the full hollow grind versions with the thick spines, and they go down like this to like a laser beam. Those, you put a good edge bevel on, you want a super fine edge because you don't want it to have a lot of teeth. You know, you want it to be good against your skin. You want it really keen, but not toothy. So you want to bring it up to, you know, a high grit. Dukes of Hazard with another 2 bones. Appreciate y'all. Have a good weekend. Thank you for all the donations, man. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, I'm going to be taking off here in 30 seconds too. I do want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out. Josh has one more question. Do they make any stones that I could replace the one from my work sharp and still use the factory 3 stone carriers? Yes. Go to my work sharp. Just literally type this in word for word on YouTube. Neeves Knives, Work Sharp Precision Aftermarket Attachments. I have multiple videos on it. You're going to see a stone holder. I have multiple videos on this. So I have some that come from Etsy and some that come from Gritomatic. Gritomatic has some right now. You can go on their site right now and get a stone holder attachment. Get that piece. That piece will allow you to get whatever stones you want. You want Veneves, you want Gritomatic diamond plates, if you want different, whatever, ceramics, but that way you can buy any stones. That's the way to make that system badass. You need that stone holder attachment. Next thing, if you watch the video, you'll see, get the clamp stabilizer. That will save you a lot of frustration. Josh Branson, 5 bones coming in right at the end with the 5 bones, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who donated tonight, man. You guys donated like crazy tonight. I do appreciate it, man. It helps the channel so much. And shout out to all the patron members. Don't forget to enter into the giveaway. If you haven't entered in yet, because I know a lot of you haven't yet, go watch the giveaway video. You don't want to miss this giveaway. We have 6 different knives, including a Riat exoskeleton. We're giving away a Riat exoskeleton. Nobody can even get those right now. Everybody's going crazy for them, but the patrons have a chance to win one, including 5 other badass knives, Spyderco's, Bestecs, Kizers, and all kinds of shit. Go and enter that giveaway. Bang Gang Squad, tomorrow we have a Bang Gang live sharpening tomorrow. Don't miss that. So if you're a Bang Gang member, if you're a YouTube member, tomorrow, probably around noon, we're going to do a live. I see donations coming in hot. Jeremiah, thank you for the bone, man. I appreciate it. And Dukes, I thought you were out of here. Thank you for another 2 bones. I love you too. I love all you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. And if you're not subscribed, think about it, you know, fucking hit the subscribe button. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for everything. See you guys later. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.